Dividing whole numbers. Angela has 12 eggs. She needs 2 eggs for a chocolate chip recipe. How many batches of cookies can she make with 12 eggs? So the first thing we're going to do is just kind of like draw 12 eggs. So not the most perfect eggs, but we get the point. There's 12. And so if she needs 2 for a chocolate chip recipe, we're asking how many batches can she make? So if we're really asking 12 divided by 2 is equal to what? Like how many batches? Well, if we look at this, right? 12 can be broken down into 2s like this, right? So we could see that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 12 divided by 2, right? Because we just broke down the 12 into 2s. And how many are there? Well, there's 6. So we can make 6 batches of cookies this way with the 12 eggs. Now, there's different ways to show divide, right? There's this way. 12 divided by 2. There can also be 12 divided by 2 like this, which would also indicate division. And then there's also this, where we have our, right, to show division here. And then 2 would go into 12, and that's what we're asking. So 2 can go into 12 how many times? It can go into it 6 times, which we can see here. Now let's look at another example. So example 2. Milo wants to buy a new couch with cash. He can save $125 a month. How many months would he have to save in order to buy a couch that costs $1,625? So a little bit of a spendy couch. So let's see how many months it would take. So if we have 1,625, then we're going to go ahead and divide it by 125 to see how many months. So we're going to rewrite this like this. Now what we're asking is 125 can go into this how many times? Right, 1,625. Well, 125, well, it can't go into 1, it can't go into 16, but it can go into 162, right? Because it can go into it one time, because 125 times 1 is 125, so we can go ahead and subtract. So now we're just, and we put this over the 2, right? So now let's go ahead and subtract. We need to borrow, so 12 minus 5 is 7, 5 minus 2 is 3, 1 minus 1 is 0, so we'll just leave it at 37, which is good. So this is less than 125. So we know we did the right number, right? That, because if it was higher than 125, then it could have gone into it another time. So now, what do? We're going to go ahead and bring down this 5. So now we have 375, and we're asking, how many times can 125 go into them? So what I like to do is I'm going to go off to the side and see what 125 times 3 is. Well, 5 times 3 is 15. 3 times 2 is 6 plus 1 is 7. 3 times 1 is 3. So it can go into it 3 times. So 125 times 3 is 375. We go ahead and subtract and we get 0. So how many months would it take? It would take 13 months. Now let's do another example. So example 3. We have 1,184 divided by 32. So 32 can go into this number how many times is what we're asking. Well, 32 can't go into 1 or 11, but it can go into 118. So we need to figure out how many times. Well, 32 is really close to 30. And 30 times 4 would be 120. So let's go ahead and look at that. So 32 times 4. Well, 2 times 4 is 8. 4 times 3 is 12. So this is too high. So we need to go 1 down. So we can either go ahead and subtract 32. So we get 32 times 3, right? So this will get us to the same answer, so we'll see. So 8 minus 2, 6. Then 12 minus 3 is 9. Or we can look here. 2 times 3, 6. 3 times 3 is 9. So see, we got it here. And that's just because, right, when we go up, every time we're multiplying it by a number, we're just adding 32. So if we want to go down to, say, 3 from 4, we just subtract 32. So it can go into 118 3 times, so that's 96. We can go ahead and subtract. 8 minus 6 is 2. Then we can have 11 minus 9, so that's 2. And then we go ahead and bring down this, right, this 4. Now 32 can go into 224 how many times is what we're asking now. So 32, well, if this was multiplied by 4 got us to 128, let's go ahead and do 6. 2 times 6 is 12, carry the 1. 3 times 6 is 18 plus 1 is 19. So we have 192. So let's go ahead and go 32 times 7, or we could just go ahead and add 32. Well, 2 times 7, 14, carry the 1, 3 times 7, 21, plus 1 is 2, 22. So now we have 224. So this is 7 times. So 32 can go to 224 7 times. We go ahead and subtract. We get 0. So our answer is 37.